How to round numbers with decimals. To round numbers with decimals, there's 5 steps. Step 1, underline the rounding to place value. If there isn't a number there, fill in zeros till you get there. Step 2, circle the number to the right after what you underlined. Step 3, ask yourself, is the circled number 5 or bigger? If you say yes, add 1 to your underlined number. If you say no, add 0 to your underlined number. Step 4, zero all the numbers from the circle numbered on and write what you have left. 5, drop off n zeros only if they are after the decimal and after the underlined number. In this example, we're going to round to the tenths place. We're going to use the number 203 and 45 thousandths. First, let's figure out where the tenths are. We have our decimal. One space over is tenths. Underline the place value that you're rounding to. That's step 1. Step 2, circle the digit afterwards. We circled 0. Step 3, ask yourself, is the circled number 5 or bigger? The answer is no. So we're going to use our no line and add 0 to that underlying digit, 4. Step 4, we're going to zero all of the numbers from the circled number on, all of our digits, and then we're going to write what we have. 4 plus 0 is 4. Bring down that decimal, 3, 0, 2. Finally, step 5, it says drop off n zeros only after the decimal and after our underlined number. So we can't start until the 4. Since that is after the decimal, we will be able to drop off our zeros at the end, leaving us with a final number, 203 and 4 tenths. So 203 and 405 thousandths rounds to 203 and 4 tenths when rounded to the tenths place. Let's try again, rounding to the ones. Step 1, underline the place value, ones or whole numbers. Step 2, circle the number to the right. Step 3, ask yourself, is that 4, that circled number, 5 or bigger? The answer is no. We are going to add 0 to our underlined ones place. Step 4, zero all the numbers after the circled number, including that circled number, and continue writing down. 3 plus 0 is 3, 0, 2. Finally, step 5, find your decimal, find where it was underlined, and after both of those, we can start erasing numbers. 203 and 405 thousandths rounds to 203 when rounded to the nearest ones or whole number. Now let's round it to the hundreds place. So I'm going to round to the hundreds. That's where the 2 is. Step 1 is done. Step 2, circle. Step 3, ask ourselves our question. It is not 5 or bigger, so I'm going to add 0. Step 4, we're going to write our zeros, starting where our circled number was, and do our math. 2 plus 0 is 2. Step 4, it's all done. Step 5 is drop off our n zeros. This was our place value, but here's where our decimal is. We have to start after both of those. That means the only zeros we can cancel out are these 3 at the end. 203 and 405 thousandths rounds to 200 when rounded to the nearest hundreds. Last one with this number. Let's round to the nearest hundredths. We're going to count out decimal place. There's a THS, so I have to remember to get to my hundredth. Tenths, hundredths. This is my underlined value. Step 1 is done. Step 2, circle the number to the right. Step 3, ask yourself, 5 or bigger? It is, so this time we will add 1. Step 4, we start doing our zeros. Circled number becomes 0 and everything after, but there is nothing. 0 plus 1 is 1, 4, and just keep writing our numbers down. Finally, we're going to do step 5. This was my place value that I was at. I need to find where my decimal is. After the decimal and after my place value I rounded to, I can start getting rid of zeros. To the nearest hundredths, 203 and 405 thousandths rounds to 203 and 41 hundredths. Let's look at what to do when we don't have all the digits and place values that we need. We're going to round 234 to the nearest tenths place. We run into a problem. There's no decimal, and tenth says we have a decimal, and we have no place value there. There's nothing there. So step 1 says underline the rounding place value. There's no number, fill in with zeros until we get there. So we have to put a placeholder. Now we can do our work. We're going to underline our place value and circle the number to the right. There's nothing there, so again, we'll put a placeholder. Is that circled number 5 or bigger? No. We will add 0. Cross out all of our stuff from the 0 or the circled number on, which was 0. Make it zeros. Do our math. Bring it down. Finally, with step 5, this was our place value we were looking at. We are actually going to make this number seem bigger because we're going to add a place value and get rid of the numbers after the place value we rounded to and the decimal. 234 to the nearest tenths is 234 and 0 tenths. We will look at one more, rounding it to the nearest hundredths, because it's a similar process of missing place values we need. If I tell you to round to the hundredths, we look and go, well, I have a hundreds, but no hundreds. I need a decimal, tenths, hundredths, and I know that in order to round to here, I need something else here. Step 1 says underline the rounding to place value. Fill in zeros wherever we need it. I'm going to fill in 1 extra so I can circle my number. So now, circle the number to the right. Is that 5 or bigger? No. So what am I going to do? Add 0, not 1, add 0. And start zeroing out everything from the circled number on. Then do my math and bring those numbers down. We look at our number. Once I know where my underlined number is, then I can start getting rid of the numbers after it as long as it's after the decimal because they're all zeros. So 234 rounded to the nearest hundredths is 234, 234 and 0 hundredths. Pause your video and try to do the remaining rounding of 234 to the nearest ones and hundreds. I will show the answers in a moment. Did you get the correct answer? Try the middle 3 numbers on your own. I will reveal the answers in a sec. Pause your video and round each number to the tenths, ones, hundreds, and hundredths. Compare your answers to what I have on this table. If you got them right, you should do just fine on your quiz.